Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah and I'm on my channel post lifestyle, university and physiotherapy related content. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bell to all so you never miss a video. Today I'm speaking with Ayo and we're going to talk about her journey to physiotherapy. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ayo. I'm a first year student studying physiotherapy, BSc.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. So since you talked about you're doing your first year, which university are you doing that at?
Sorry?
Which university are you at now?
Oh, I'm at the University of East London.
Ooh. Oh, I've seen that campus. It's pretty nice. Yeah. Are you at the one with it near the airport, right? Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the Stratford one.
Yeah, I've seen that one as well. I thought you meant the Dockland one where I'm like, oh,
Docklands. Yeah, the plane.
That makes me want to go on a holiday. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what made you choose the BSc over the MSc or the doctorate?
Because I felt like I already gave the MSc a shot. And it was quite an intense journey for me. And I just felt like it wasn't for me personally.
Fair enough.
But I always wanted to know that. I always knew that I wanted to do physiotherapy. So I thought, let me try the BSc and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Here we are.
At least you're determined because, most people would only be like, I tried the MSc, I tried.
Yeah, I tried, that's it.
I tried. It's a profession now. Yeah. But what 3 words would you use to kind of describe the profession of physiotherapy, in your opinion?
I feel like the profession is very it's a very hard-working one. When you first think of physiotherapy, you don't really think, well, as a student, I don't think this now, but before, people would just be like, oh, physiotherapy is just massage.
Oh, I hate that one. Yeah.
Are you gonna give me a massage? But it's really, there's a lot involved in it, a lot more than just massage. So definitely. It's a very hard working course. I feel like it is a bit underappreciated as well.
Definitely. But I feel like people don't realize how much a physio is capable of doing, so they minimize it. Or I think based off what the media shows, people just assume we're all going to be sports, in sports physio or MSK, and that's why I think that's where the massage thing comes in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And people were shocked even to hear physios helped during the COVID thing. They're like, oh, how did you help? It's a quite a broad subject. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I also think it's quite interesting as well. There's a lot involved in it. You can go out to loads of different branches. Like I said, it was involved with COVID. Also, there's some psychology areas that you can go into with physio as well. So it's quite interesting. And I don't have another word.
Earlier I was talking to my friend about she was saying she does, obviously you can do research in physio. You find people doing not just the cool ones, obviously MSK, neuro and cardiorespiratory. But then you have also you were saying the mental health physio. I think that's what it's called, mental health physio.
Yeah.
You have that, you have women's health, elderly, you can specialize in populations as well. So there's so many different areas that the person takes you to. I think that's a nice thing as well, because it's kind of once you've got your degree as a physio, you can get that experience and then move around if you really wish to do it.
So that's what I love about it. Yeah.
You're not oh, I'm doing just this and that's it.
That's it for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I think so far, it's broad degrees seem to be the way way forward. But yeah. So how would you say your course is structured? Because obviously you tried the MSc. Would you like to compare the two of them, how they were structured? Obviously at different unis, but
yeah. So they are structured very differently. So obviously because the MSc is 2 years, it's quite more compact. So in first year it was all content based, and then second year placements based. So and DISO. Yeah. But with this with the BSc it's 3 years. So studying first year, then placement, and then second year studying, then placement again, and then third year is mainly placement and DISO. So more spread.
Yeah.
Placements in first year as well, which is not usually the case for BSc.
Yeah, you don't usually hear that.
Yeah, you don't hear that, which is one of the reasons why.
You're like, I want that.
Yeah, I want that because I want to go on placement ASAP. But yeah, and also, yeah, it's just obviously it's more spread out because there's an extra year. Yeah. So I think that's just the difference. But definitely master's more contact time.
Yeah. Wait, really? Wait, more contact than the undergrad?
Yeah. Yeah, because like, okay, I think it's just the masters I did, but we were in like 9 to 4.
Oh yeah, no, okay, that's kind of the case. Yeah. The timetable's disgusting. I'm not gonna lie, it's disgusting. Like, they're like, oh, you're gonna be in like 2-3 days a week, and you're like, why am I getting a 5-day timetable? Like,
exactly.
I'm like, that's disgusting. You lied.
You lied. You know when they're like, oh, it's intense. You're like, yeah, I know. It's masters. You don't know.
You know nothing.
No.
Yeah, it's like if you don't plan correctly, it's just like, honestly, I feel like if I didn't have life beyond uni, I would be consumed by it all. Honestly,
it's good that you're able to like separate out. If not, if it all merges, well,
yeah. Oh god, no, wow. Yeah, screw that. No, thank you. But I feel like the good thing about an undergrad being 3 years is that not only does it space things out, it means you have more time to like comprehend the learning and, you know, ask questions about things that you're not sure about before you go on placement. But then on the other side, the good thing about having a placement in the first year is that you're able to be like, okay, this is the stuff I learned. Let me double check, actually understand it, or, you know, implement it in the real world. Yeah. Which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, decent.
But yeah, masters is good. Like, it's good if you want to like just get into it. The only thing I find different with the BSc is like I'm starting again. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in first year again. Like,
so I mean, the good thing, like, we could touch on it in a minute, but like the good thing is obviously you've done an undergrad before, so then you know kind of what you're expected, the type of work you're expected to do. I think that's like the one thing I'm like, I should have done an undergrad, because at least it's like I know the level of standard they want. Whereas at a master's, I'm like, what do you want from me? Like, you're asking for this, but what do you want? Like,
exactly.
You know what I mein? Even now, I don't even know if I've gotten what they like, given what they wanted, because I'm like, I haven't got a grade. So what do you want from me realistically?
Yeah.
It doesn't help, because all they go, you wouldn't be here if we didn't think you were up to. I'm like, that doesn't help me right now.
No, it doesn't help. I need guidance.
Yeah, thank you. Guidance is what we need. It's honestly, it is too much. But speaking of undergrad, so what did you do for your undergrad?
Physiotherapy.
No, but your other undergrad.
Oh.
I hate like
science. I was like, wait, didn't I say that already? But,
like, you literally like, is this a trick question? And I'm like,
yeah.
Nah, I caught you.
But yeah, sport and exercise science.
Yeah, fun fact, we studied together. Well, it was funny, like, you were in the year below me, and then I went abroad, and I came back and we were in the same year.
Yeah, exactly. It's so weird.
Yeah. So then, do you feel like sports science helped you with like along your journey?
So physiotherapy, right? I would say in some aspects, yes, because we did go through anatomy in our first year. However, it was just in our first year.
Yeah.
So like, I found myself not remembering most things. So it was kind of different. But the only advantage I have, I say, was with doing the masters, like, because it was fresh. I had that knowledge to do it now. So I guess I would say the undergrad helped a bit, but not that much.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to other things, like you're doing like manual handling and stuff. You wouldn't have done that in sports science.
Yeah,
whereas
no,
people in
theory
sports therapy.
Yeah. You know, I completely agree in that sense, because if I was saying earlier, in another interview I was talking about, I was like saying that we both agreed, because again, when you know how I transferred obviously to Hertfordshire from Kent.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my friend from Kent, and we both agreed that like the annoying thing is that we only did functional anatomy in our first year. So after that, you specialize in so many other things that you're like, what is anatomy? Like, what is anatomy? So it's a little hard. And like I agree that it does help to an extent with like maybe the anatomy aspect, but like the handling aspects, not so much. Like you were saying in terms of moving people, but I haven't really gotten to that in my degree yet. The most I've gotten to is like just, you know, doing little treatments and little maneuvers in practical, but not really anything like transferring a person to this or whatever. I feel like honestly, I feel like Birmingham's just gonna leave that for us to deal with that in placement. We're gonna do we've got a manual handling course, but I feel like placement's gonna be the actual time we're gonna be like.
Definitely, yeah. With my masters, I didn't learn like anything to do with manual handling either. Just simple like maneuvering. In masters, like we didn't have a manual handling course, no.
Oh, because we've been put onto one, so we have to do like a manual handling course, basic life support training. We have to do a lot of e-learning, like NHS e-learning certificates.
Oh, that's good though. No, but that's good. Like
no, they are good.
You
need them. They are good. You need them. You do learn a lot, but then brain numbing, bro. I'm like, like they're like 20 minutes long to complete, but at the same time, it's just like, because like some of them you have the option to do the quiz before you even look at the question, the other stuff, and like. No, me, I was like, who needs to look at the, you know, the quiz for the fire marshal thing? I was like, I'm a fire marshal at work. Who cares about it? Did the quiz. The thing is, some of them were kind of like, it's so crazy how like different things change when you go into healthcare. So like, my friend is obviously, if the fire is going on, get out, get everybody out of the building. Whereas like, it was like for the NHS cases, it's like they can stay in there unless you're told to leave. And then like there was one where it was like, oh, what do you do if someone's on oxygen but there's a fire alarm? Do you plug it out and leave, or do you wait till you're? I was like, hello, oxygen and fire don't mix. Get out. Like, I was like, they don't mix. And it was like, no, you wait until you're toast. I was like, I was like, I thought there's one attached to the. So you telling me I would have killed off a person? Just plug it out. And so I was like, maybe I shouldn't be a fire marshal at work.
I need to start looking at them quizzes because I would have got that wrong as well.
You know what I mean? I'm like, your instinct is like, why am I hanging around? Like, I'm out. So,
exactly.
Yeah, literally, you just hear so many things like that. But before sports science, what did you do before then? Like, did you do A levels, BTEC?
Oh, I did A levels. Yeah. I did chemistry, biology, and maths.
Oh,
yeah. It was a bit of a struggle.
I heard biology's a killer. But do you feel like those, if you wanted to, do you feel like you would have been able to go straight into physio with those?
Yeah, defo. I feel like to some extent, yes. The biology really helped. The chemistry was like pointless. Like we don't really need it. If I did something like a BTEC PE or like if my school offered that, I probably would have taken that and it would have been more helpful. Yeah.
Fair enough. You see, I think you would have been in a better position than me. I mean, I don't know when things changed because obviously I did my sixth form years before you, like a year ahead of you. So when I was doing it, I just did level 3 BTEC sport. And when it came to applying for universities, if I didn't do like an A level in biology alongside the BTEC, it was just kind of like, I'm not looking your way. So in your case, it was hard. Like I didn't even, like honestly, when I looked at places, I didn't even bother applying because I was just like, one, my GCSEs weren't up to par. And to then not have an A level on top, I was going to get dragged. It wasn't even worth it.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, taking a different path. It was to a path that would obviously accept the BTEC. But I think when you have to bear that in mind with certain degrees, but like when you have a BTEC and alongside A levels that complement them, you're fine. If anything, it makes you like a versatile student. Whereas like, if you do one, they're like, so it's a bit.
I feel like they should talk more about BTEC though, because like we weren't told much about BTEC when we were doing it.
Speaking of that, I actually got a video coming out about that. Talking about BTEC, but like, because I'm like, it does get a little bit annoying seeing that happens, but like, because most people I speak to, you don't hear that they've come in through a BTEC. They've either done something else, like the BTEC opened another door and then allowed them in. So just something to bear in mind if people are going to take that approach, but we're here now, we're physicians now, we've been determined to keep pushing. But like, what like kind of work experience did you do that made you want to be a physio? Was it just something you woke up one day, you're like, I'm going to be a physio?
Originally it was either a physio or a doctor,
I
right?
feel like we
So
all want
that's
to be
why
a
I did
doctor.
the chemistry, biology, all of that. I did the exam and everything. But physio always appealed more to me because I was more interested in sports. And at that time I thought, oh, being a physio is like, you know, sports, that's it.
You want to
But I
dance.
went on work experience. Yeah. But I went on work experience at not intensive, what's the word? Intermediate care unit.
Yeah.
And I saw like how the physios worked alongside the nurses and the OTs. And I was thinking like, wow, this is actually like a good job, if you get what I mean. Like, you're actually making an impact in what you do towards people. So yeah, it was quite interesting. And then I also went on a work experience in a private clinic, physio clinic.
Oh, nice.
It was kind of similar to like a GP practice kind of thing. Yeah. And I just thought it was nice to see different areas.
Environments type stuff. Like, do you have any tips on how to get work experience? Because for me, I only got my physio work experience because my mom worked at the hospital. It's like, that's the only way I got my experience. Other than that, all my experience was outside of physio. Like, it's just different areas being like, okay, I've helped people on transferable skills. Other than that, it was so hard trying to get some actual physio work experience.
Yeah, it was actually really hard. Like, I only had like a care home experience and like a receptionist shadowing in a GP. So it was really hard to look for some, but it's all about connections. Like, I got mine through connections with my parents knew someone that worked there because it was in MK, the one I went to. Like, it was so random, but it's just ask people around you, because when I went to like go into like clinics or physios around me, and I was like, oh, do you guys do work experience? They're like, oh no, we don't take students. Like, they were straight on like, no.
That's the thing. Loads of them are like, we don't take students, or we don't take people from certain boroughs if they're in a certain district area. And it's like hard. But no, it's definitely like, networking.
So yeah, definitely ask around, a friend of a friend, someone, ask.
Yeah, like, you know, someone's mom, you know what I mean? You can meet your friend, they're like, my mom's a physio. Hey, you're from work experience? Like, you gotta be like, you have to be on it, because
honestly,
it is hard. It's hard getting noticed really out there with all that. I'm like, oh God. I think like loads of people have also said that when you're on placement, to try and connect with other members of the MDT team, so you can like you know, get that kind of experience there, rather than just that one person you're following around, especially if it's allowed. So might as well make the most of it. Nice.
Definitely, especially when you start working with like when I was on my placement, there was like OTs around, and I would follow them as well. And they work like hand in hand. So even if you can get like a OT like work experience as well, something similar in the field, like it doesn't have to be similar.
Because I did some work experience while I was in the US. I shadowed an athletic trainer for 6 months, and like for me that was no, was that 6 months? No, that one was 3 months. The other one was 6 months. They had the experience I did. But like the good thing about that is that even though an athletic trainer and a physio are basically on different sides of the spectrum, like they still, it's kind of like you still get to see what it's like working with a single population. You still get to see what it would be like if you were going to be a sports physio, because you do similar techniques, whether it's taping or whether it's ultrasound. There is a crossover to an extent, as long as you're aware of the crossover. That shows, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm showing an athletic trainer, but cool, what? And your point is like, what's it got to do with physio? Unless you can explain it, you didn't really know, you know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, I'd say definitely draw from different areas and get that there. But next thing I wanted to ask you is, do you feel like you have time for yourself outside of the degree, or is it just like, nah?
Well, I feel like, yes, I do have some time, but I'm only saying that now because this is my first year. I don't know how the second year or third year will be, but so far I do have time to myself, especially because we're in like 3 times a week, and you have like the rest of the week.
It's like, what?
No, because, like 3 times a week, and my lectures are like 3 hours, so like I have the rest of the day, like, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
So compared to the masters, obviously, where I had no life, but I think that was just that specific uni. But
Yeah, because it
yeah,
sounds like the way it was structured, I don't even think I could deal. I'd be like, work along who?
like,
No.
and the fact we had intensive weeks as well, when we're in Monday to Friday, 9 to 4.
Yeah, no. You see, even though I have my days where I'm in, like, I'm gonna be in every day and stuff, it's not all day. It'd be like, okay,
Exactly.
you got 3 hours in the day, you're in.
Mhm.
But it's just kind of like, oh, couldn't you put it on, like, squeezed it on the other day, like the tail end of you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I couldn't do the whole intensive week thing. It's just, I feel like I'd be in the library crying. I'm not gonna lie.
for real. Been there.
Like, just
But yeah, I do feel like I do have some time. Yeah, it's chill. I think it's important to have it though.
yeah,
Otherwise,
definitely.
you start to lose your mind a bit.
Because I feel like that's a concern that people, like, you hear people ask about physio or like just healthcare degrees anyway. It's like, how do you balance things outside of it? Do you have time for yourself? And everybody else has their different approaches to things. So
Yeah.
glad you're sane still and you're still able to balance.
Yeah.
You got the classic physio background, you know, with the anatomy on the back. I haven't conformed yet. I've not gotten any posters up just yet.
Oh, but to be fair, I got a poster because other people getting the whole skeleton.
Yeah, like my housemate has a
That's
whole
fine.
skeleton, and some people have like the mini desk ones. I mean,
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
helps you learn, I suppose. Whatever helps you learn. But
Yeah.
like, what advice would you give someone who wanted to go into physio?
I feel like to go into physio, it is good to have a bit of that science background, whether it's like BTEC or whether it's A level, anything like science background is really important because I feel like it's a lot to take in sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you're used to like having that, like when I did A levels for biology for A levels, it was a lot of content, I'm not gonna lie, and you had to remember a lot. But as you start to practice that, it kind of prepares you for uni as well. I also think you need to have kind of like not a strict approach to when you're studying physio. So like it's not always black and white, if you know what I mean. Especially when it comes to treatments or deciding what tests you want to do. It's good to have an open mind and try like new things. I think that's important. Also, when studying, I think it's important to know what type of studying, like what method you use to study, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's important to find it early on.
The type of learner you are, because you don't want to be there making flashcards and you're looking at flashcards like, bruh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, I personally use Anki and I find Anki very helpful. But I know if I try to do Anki like now in the evening or something, I'm just not going to process it. I'm just going to keep clicking like, yeah. I'm not even going to take the time. Whereas I always do it first thing in the morning. The moment I wake up, before I even go anywhere, first thing, jump on Anki, complete my Anki, and then it's done because I'm more alert in the morning.
Exactly.
Actually think about it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then some of the times, but I'm not going to lie there are sometimes, because I have so many flashcards on there, there will be ones where it'd be like, oh, this muscle that adducts this, does that, like, what's the name of this muscle? And I'll be like, how am I meant to know? And I go to
Could be
and
anything.
Be like, I'm like, and they'd be like, oh, the adductor brevis. And I'm like, it did say that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like little things like that. Sometimes I'd be like, why are you asking me? Like I'm meant to know what it does. Like how much? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, I get that. quite a bit. So definitely, I'd say definitely learn your learning style. That's definitely a thing that you need to do. Because the thing is, with physio, there's so much content thrown at you, but you don't really need to know it all. I'm not saying like don't take notes, but there's so much thing you don't need to know. I feel like placements will show you what you actually need to know. And I mean, I haven't gone on a placement yet, but I feel like they will show you the real stuff, because like even all the terminology we're learning, I'm like, realistically, if I went and quizzed, went into a ward and quizzed a bunch of physio, they'd be looking at me like, get out of here, don't ask me that.
Yeah. Like what?
Yeah,
especially for physiology. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like learning all the processes and stuff. When you're treating someone, you're not gonna be like, oh yeah, this process is this with the little microorganisms and the ions, and no, you're not.
Yeah. Oh god. Like my thing right now is the pain gate theory. Like we had a task where we had to like, we didn't have to do it, it was optional, but we had a task where you could write a paragraph on like how you would explain the pain gate theory to a patient, and I'm like, what patient is asking about pain gate theory? Like,
yeah, you just want to know, is their pain gonna go away?
You know, they don't care how it happens, like just do it. Like
exactly.
Yeah, literally. But no, like little things like that. It's kind of like fair enough. That's not too bad. But no, is there anything?
Oh, one more thing.
Yep.
One more, sorry.
That's right.
Also, when it comes to grades, I feel like she shouldn't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Because I know you really would like. I wanted like a really good grade, overall, but being realistic. Do I want to have a good grade, or do I want to understand what I'm doing? Like, because you could be memorizing things just to get a good grade, but do you understand what you've done?
Yeah, no, I completely get that. Yeah, I think that's the thing with any degree, though. It's kind of like, you know, if you can just spit it out in the exam, well done for you. But like when you go to the actual environment out there in the real world, what are you gonna do? You don't know
exactly.
nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, if a good grades come along with that, then hey,
that's good. Yeah,
but no, I feel like, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard like with physio, as long as you pass, you could still be a physio. It's not like, ooh, you got a third, bye. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as you can show
no one cares.
Yeah. That's like, honestly, that keeps me sane in my master's. There's like certain things where I'll be reading the brief and I'll be like, nah, I'll cut that out. That's 2 points. It is what it is. Like, I had an assignment and I was trying to do this appendices for so long, and I just got so infuriated. And I was like, let me go to the mark scheme. 4 points. I'll take the L. Next. I was like, I'm not promoting dropping little aspects, but I'm like, hey, I'll take the L.
Come on, like you can't kill yourself out here, man. Trying to do too much.
So intense. I was just like, nah, I'm done. I'm out. Like, I'm like, everything. I hit every other component, so I'm like, I have to at least pass. Okay, but whether I get a pass, merit, or distinction, that's different. But yeah. So in the undergrad, they still grade it as an undergrad in terms of they still do the first, second, two, like that stuff, right?
Some elements, like we did this course where it's just pass or fail. Sorry. So I don't know if that shows up on our transcript as pass or fail or the grade. Yeah. But whatever grades you get, they don't care as long as you pass the competency. So, but everything else, it's graded first, 2-1.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, because that's the same thing. We have this module. In the first semester there was a module called Transition to Physiotherapy, and it was a pass-fail thing. And it's just more like, okay, here's what CPD is. We have to write a portfolio, and it's just pass or fail, and it's graded at a level 6. Like, so the last year of your undergrad, is graded at that, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. But everything else is graded at master's level. So I'm just like, hello, could you tell me how to write at a master's level? Because you know what I mean? People like, you think you are, but you want to make sure that you are.
That's something I really struggled with,
Yeah, no.
Because you don't know what is enough. Or like, Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, you don't want to stress out, you don't want to get consumed by it, or you want to make sure you're able to get the whole human experience, because for most of us, this is our last time we're studying. I mean, for me, it's my last time, so I'm done. I'm done out here. Watch come 2022, I'll be like, guys, I'm doing a doctorate. Hell no. But like, you never know. No, I know.
But this is the last for me. I can't hack it.
I feel like student finance would be like, girl, when you gonna start paying back this? Okay, you're taking coin, but you ain't returning coin. Exactly. So no, that's too much. But do you have any questions for me or anything?
How are you finding your masters actually?
I mean, I think if I wasn't balancing
everything.
Pardon?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like the structure, everything,
Oh, the structure, like, I like it. It's the main reason why I applied, because I liked how they structure things. I like that in the first year it's mostly teaching, and then you have like 2 or 3 placements. I really like that, because I feel like before you go into the whole full wedge of placements in your second year, you've actually experienced what it's like, and you know where your flaws are in terms of placements, so you don't carry that onto your second year and get like embarrassed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, your first 2 placements, I feel like you're gonna make little mistakes, you're gonna slip up, and you're like about things where it's like, you're eyeing yourself out come second year. No excuses. So it's like that. I'm finding that fine in that sense. The workload, honestly, doesn't feel that bad in terms of if you just look at the workload alone. I'm just like, not too bad. Maybe it's because of how I structure myself and like how organized I like to be. Where the moment after a lecture, so say if I had a lecture today, after, not always straight after the lecture, but like an hour or two after the lecture, I'm already writing my notes if I wasn't able to write them before. Straight after practical, I'll write my practical notes. And like, I just keep them all in one thing with pictures and everything. Because especially with practical is recorded sometimes on Zoom, but like sometimes it's not recorded. And even though like, you know, so a lecture is going to be recorded, I could rewatch that. But with practical stuff, there may be little things that were said that may have not made it on the video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And or little images, because everybody does a technique differently, and you will learn that like so much. You know, there's like people do different handling of things. So I like find an image that will remind me of it, because I'm like reading, oh yeah, get the person to lay supine and lift up their leg. I'm like, okay.
Sometimes the words.
You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, but with an image alongside it, I'm like, that one. So I find that helps me a lot. But yeah, I think
that's
my biggest
tip though.
Yeah, it is definitely a good thing. You've got to be structured with yourself, and I have a lot going on in the week anyway, so I don't have time to mess about with certain things. But yeah, I think the only thing I would say that could improve the degree would be communication in the degree. Just like everybody's in understanding that, like, you know, we all have lives, like I was saying earlier, like we all have lives and stuff, and we all need to respect that, because like if I'm so structured in one area, I want to be structured in other areas. So that's like my only complaint with the degree, where I'm kind of just like, you know, people got a life out here. Like, I mean, I say me with a side, like, you know, part-time job, but there's people on my course who have kids. I'm like, putting us in every day isn't really, like, I can take the L in terms of the job aspect, but I'm like, these people have kids, you know what I mean? Like, be understandable. And I understand, like, you know, physio, you know, the lecturers are maybe still part-time physios, or they also have kids and all that, but I'm like, can we just ease up here? Just ease up. That's kind of how I feel with it. Other than that, I think I'm doing fine, and I'm not drowning. That's the good thing. I was concerned I was going to be drowning, to be honest, but I'm doing well.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
that's actually good to hear. Yeah,
I'm doing well. I think once you find your people, you feel a lot better as well.
Yeah,
you drag other people to the library with you. You're like, yeah, let's
go. Yeah, you have your study group. It's important.
Have accountability as well. If you don't turn up at the library, they're like, where were you? I was in bed. Are
you trying to slack?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I've had my few slacking moments. Not gonna lie, I fell asleep on Zoom a couple of times, but like,
come on, it's normal.
Bro, honestly, I woke up and the class was still going. I was like, literally, that's like, bro, after me having like not even a couple minutes before being like, I was like, what did I say to my friend? I was like, the pace this lecture's going at right now, I can see someone falling asleep. Me. I'm like,
the worst one is when it's time for breakout groups and you're not ready.
Oh, you know how many times I've been caught in them, or everyone turns the camera on, you're like, hey, yo, I wasn't prepared for this. Yeah, I even can't hear none. Like, can we not? Like, my camera's broken today. Can we start to?
Yeah, I literally show my ceiling like, oh, sorry guys. Yeah, I'm charging my iPad.
The secret's out.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I cut it. Yeah, no, honestly, that's just too funny. Yeah, that's how things are going for me. I'm glad to hear things are going well for you, and thank you for answering my questions.
No worries.
Yeah. Maybe I'll bring you back for another bunch of questions when you finish your undergrad. I'll be like, hey, how was it?
We made it.
Yeah.